Mandate. I don't know if you've read it, but if you have not, you can find it on Amazon. Make sure you grab a hold of this book. I wanted to. We're spending the weekend with Apostle Obii, and it's been a pleasure to be with you. But I know that some of you are not here, so we wanted to take you behind the pulpit, and we wanted to capture just a little bit of what we're getting out here, if that's okay, Apostle.
Oh yeah.
Or, let's do that. Okay, so we don't have a lot of time, so we'll try and be very precise. Can you help us understand when we talk about the Issachar mandate? These are big words. So can you just help me break down what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What is this about?
Okay, let's be very quick here. So the tribe of Issachar is one of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So Issachar is a tribe of Israel, and they had a distinctive like all the other ones. And this particular people were people who were very perceptive. So in the Bible, it says, that there were sons of Issachar who understood the times and knew what their nation ought to do. And this is mentioned in a chapter of the Bible where it's talking about David's mighty army, the people he went to war with. So if you're going to be going to war, make sure you have people who are perceptive, who have understanding, who are intelligent.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is something that I think it is something that is important, has always been important, but I think more in this era, now more than ever. Now,
I agree.
Do you mind telling, you've been talking a lot about this decade, and you've been telling us that it's an important one, and you have this, you're perceiving something. Why is this decade so important for us?
It is critically important, especially for young people, really. Mm-hmm. Very important that we understand, because we're Christians, and sometimes, it can get all confused and there's so much coming at us, okay? But we have to understand that fundamentally, being a born-again Christian, if you go by the Bible, it means that you're a person that is in a position of advantage and there are expectations of you. Now, if you're going to do all these things that God wants you to do, it's nice to know that He's on your side and He's giving you, toolkits to be able to do it. So in context of Issachar, so a tribe of people who are gifted naturally to be quick in their wit, quick in their minds, in their cognition, to understand what's happening in society, and then, to know what to do. So this is a very important decade. It's given to Christians to come into places of, like positions, and I'm talking about mental positions of, let's say creativity, innovation, so for who we are, right? When I say that it's an Issachar decade, what does that mean? That it's a decade of people who are going to develop their minds, their cognition, because that's what the tribe was known to be amongst the 12 tribes. What distinguished them was their ability to understand what's happening in their environment, what's happening in their world. So that was their own assignment to understand and then get everybody else to understand. You see what I mean? Okay. So this 10 years is given to the church to come in. When we say use words like apostolic kingdom, what it means is people who have what it takes to make everybody else understand what's happening in the world. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So it is a critical time. Daniel prophesied of a time like this. He said, a time came for the saints to possess the kingdom. Right. Mm-hmm. So what he's saying is, there comes a time where it's like we're having all this headache, then there comes a time where it stops. Okay. Right? So when it stops, we're riding the wave of headaches now, right? So all the experiences we had, the bad experiences, become our currency for the future. So this is a decade. We hear so much talk about innovation, technological advancement, digital age, digital economy, and we have such a youth population. So you guys have to operate like the sons of Issachar. So you have the benefit of my generation's wisdom and yours, and you have 8 years to just become amazing. Wow. You have 8 years to make money.
So why do you say 8 years?
Because a decade, 10 years. And there's been 2 years given to COVID, all these different things. Okay. We still have 8. You see what I'm saying? So in the 8 years, we're going to have to give our minds, to things that are positive, that are innovative. You have to push your mind, to a point where you're developing apps, you're all these different things that, now lead the world. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in your area of work, as a Christian, you're gonna your business as an Issacharian. We say it's an Issachar decade, right? So we're saying it's a decade of people who understand the times, right? We're saying it's a decade of people who know that if we have all these promises as Christians, there's got to be a time where they become our reality and our truth, right?
This is good. This is good. Can you help me here? It sounds to me that this is not about Sunday church. It's not about, we come to church, we sing songs, we pray, we go home. It sounds like this is really about my daily life, going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's really outside the four walls. And where I'm looking maybe for help for me and even for the people watching is, how do I get started? How do I launch in this Issachar realm? What's the simplest way? What do I do?
He's just said it all for you, right? It's definitely not about church. Definitely not about the four walls. It is to be practiced outside. How do you do that? Okay? How do you get into this Issachar realm? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Right. How do you get into it? The first thing is to believe that you have to show up in your own. You have to be present in your truth. You have to be present in your truth has to become your reality. There is nothing to do other than to believe that you are great. Believe that I want you to be thinking, I want every Christian to be thinking wealth. Okay, so you have to begin to think, I've got to develop my mind. Positive thinking, affirmative thinking, self-belief, come out of self-doubt, sabotage, okay?
We have a lot of that.
Yeah, you have to come out of self-sabotage. You just literally have to think, what is Issachar? People who understood the times, in their time I knew what to do.
Yeah.
So I have to understand the demand of society. The demand of times. See what I'm saying? The demand of the time is for solution providers, problem solvers. Okay? So the realm of problem solving and solutions bringing is innovation.
Yeah.
So innovation is what's going to stand you out.
Yeah.
Because by innovation and creativity, you're taking things, you're pushing the narrative, you're pushing boundaries, you're bringing in new ideas.
Right.
Not new ways of doing old things. New ways of doing new things. Literally, the only way to change anything is to change it. Period.
Yeah.
I develop reformers. So you have to think transformational. You have to be thinking, I'm going to be transformative. I can't be who I was yesterday. Wow. It's a personal decision, literally. So a mandate is an instruction. So Issachar mandate literally saying you have an instruction to be the best version of yourself daily.
Wow.
So daily you have to metamorphosize. Daily you got to get up and like yourself, love yourself. Self-love in a nice way is what it's all about.
Right.
You have self-appreciation. You know what I mean? You can't really operate in this realm with self-sabotage.
Right.
It's going to be a problem. That's what I'm saying. So you have to believe that every day is your moment in this decade. You really have to. Every day
is your moment.
Yeah.
I know you said you're the star of your own movie.
That's it.
I think this is a message for the church, but it's a message that doesn't stay in the church. It's a message that goes.
It
out
can't
in
stay
the
there.
Yeah.
You have to bring your future into your now. You can't live in postponed hope. You know what I mean? You just have, the future has to become my now.
Right.
And what does that mean? I can't be thinking, I'll do this next week. So that's a procrastination breaker. You know what I mean? The Issachar mandate is show up, don't procrastinate, take a risk. Because pioneers are risk takers. You see, be the first one ever in that. Be a prototype. You know what I mean? So let me give you an example, guys. You see, we used to kind of want to go to vision, purpose conferences and all of that.
Yeah.
You're the vision, you're the purpose. Think about it.
Come on.
There can't be a purpose outside of you.
Yeah.
So, you see, that thinking has progressed.
Yeah.
You see, it's no longer okay to go to a vision or purpose conference.
Yeah.
I've got to believe I am the purpose. We've been going without showing not being present in our reality. But now there's a convergence of our reality and who we are.
Yeah.
We can't be separate from our vision. You see what I mean? You don't have to go to a conference for someone to tell you what your vision is. Now, you go to where people teach you the principles of vision realization. So we've been going and nothing's happening. Now God says, look, Issachar Monday, you're the vision, you're the purpose.
Right.
Okay, so that's how I'm thinking. I'm the purpose. So that's courageous thinking, isn't it?
It's bold
It's
thinking.
deep, but yet it's simple.
It's deep but simple. Well, this is good. Our time is up, and I wish you came this weekend. But please make sure you connect with us. Make sure you connect also with Apostle Obii-Pax Harry. You can just write that name on
Find
Google.
me on Instagram.
Instagram as well. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. You're one of my faves now. He's my friend. The guy he's cool.
There you go. So I'm the purpose guy.
And he's my prophet. I'm my apostle.
See you guys.